You are looking at my web browser. There we go. You're tuned into the second pre-show for SOS PGH concert series. Tomorrow night, we'll be featuring the Bostal Boys, A Common Crown, and Black Ridge. With me currently is Mark from the Bostal Boys. Paul from Black Ridge is having some issues getting on, and Matt Franny is actually practicing with the Common Crown currently. So I did an interview with him earlier in the week, which you'll get to be able to see at the end of this live. What's up, Mark?
What's happening, Bill? Thanks for having me.
It was rushed today. I was telling you off the air that I work like an hour from my house, and on top of that, I have chess club, so I was there an hour longer than I normally am. So,
chess club,
yes, chess and checkers.
That's cool.
And in this pandemic year, we sit in the cafeteria, spread out all over the place, not near anybody, and we play online against each other.
One time in my life, I tried learning and was playing a little bit of chess. One time I tried. I don't remember any of it. Checkers, I do. I think I was better at checkers.
I don't play checkers nearly as often. And nobody really has been playing them in the club. They've all been playing chess, which is cool with me. But so let's start off with first of all, Rocky sent me a picture and told me I was supposed to show it. Hold on a second.
I know what it is. It's everybody's it's like one of my favorite photos of me. I'm not too photogenic, but Rocky actually took that photo at a gig, and I just always liked it. And
let's see if I can get it to.
Oh no, that's not what I thought it was. Okay, that's my first band. That's probably like 1979 there.
What was the name of that band?
We were called Fury out of the Mon Valley. I grew up in McKeesport. My cousin from White Oak was in the band, and the rest of the guys are from West Mifflin. We actually had an original set. That was my first band.
Cool. Yeah, he was like, make sure you show this and ask him about it.
I'm not sure why he got such a kick out of it, but I know rock, so I thought he was going to show the one with me sitting on that love seat. And I'm pretty sure it was Rain. It was either Mark Dottle or Raina that photoshopped that big tray of cookies, because I make those. I'm world famous for my chocolate chunk peanut butter cookies.
I know, and I haven't had one yet.
Well, I owe you, brother. I owe you a big batch. So I promise. It's recorded. This is live. It's a promise.
Yep. Now it's been put out there. So what about, besides the fact that Rocky ended up producing the song, what about the song SOS 2020 brought you to this project? Like, how did you get there?
Well, the whole thing was pretty much Eric's baby, the song. He wrote this song, and I mean, he was talking about having dreams, and he got up out of bed and started writing stuff down, I think. And and then once he collaborated with Rocky, they came up with this idea, and it benefits our venues, and the National Independent Venue Association is involved too. So it's a good cause. But my input was merely showing up at the vault to record. Everybody took turns, each band, whatever. If you were playing or singing, everyone had their turn, and that was pretty easy. That's what I do all the time. I sing a lot, so all I had to do was go and sing. It turned out pretty cool, I thought.
I'm going to hit you with a couple of my oddball questions.
I remember this from Islam.
Yes. If you could go back in time without breaking the space-time continuum, it's a little Back to the Future thing there. What band would you want to follow around for a year?
Wow, man, that's really tough because I never saw Led Zeppelin, and like in their early initial days, they were so unique and powerful, and hard and just really badass. But I love the Stones. My favorite band was always the Jay Giles band, old Jay Giles, like not centerfold, freeze frame, not the MTV era. I think that probably was their most successful commercial time. But you had to see them live too back in the day. They were really cool party band. So I don't know, but I think the Stones.
So Paul is here. His internet connection is iffy, but I'm gonna pull him in.
Okay, there he is.
Paul.
Oh,
he looks tame.
I'm the he. I wondered who the he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I have really bad connection where I'm at. So
you definitely do. We were wondering if maybe you were getting a costume on or something.
That's why I said he looks.
No. This is regular life costume. This is work clothes. So see, paint and whatnot all over. So Blue Collar Blues isn't just a song.
Hey, the question I just asked Mark was if you could go back in time and follow any band around, which band would you want to follow?
Like any band
anybody,
ever?
Anybody ever.
Huh.
Tough one, huh?
Man. There's a couple of different, man, who would I want to follow? I'm trying to think now, like, of certain instances in bands' histories that were like really cool, like something or others. And I'm trying to think, well, you know what? We'll go with the easy one. We'll say Zeppelin. Why not? I'll just go with that right now.
That was my first that I mentioned. I still don't know if I even made a decision on who I'd follow. I did. I said it, the Stones, but that's a tough one. There's some,
Well, if you're going to follow the Stones, just make sure you're not going to Altamont. But another one possibly, and this would be neat, would be Bob Marley and the Wailers, just because he basically introduced a genre to the entire world. And so watching that develop would be kind of neat. I think that would be something cool. So
I could go for some reggae. Yeah, man. Ever living, ever Rastafari.
Back in the day, I had a gentleman from a reggae band on the Pennsylvania Rock Show. He was going by JJ at the time. I don't remember what his real name is. But he sat right there, which you can't see, but right on the other side of where I'm sitting. And he wouldn't show me his dreads. He had a big hat on, wouldn't show me his dreads. But I'm
gonna get a coat on. I'm gonna get a coat on. I'm gonna go outside, see if I can get some. So if I blink out for a second or whatnot, I will do my best. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if I can get a little better connection here. So
okay. So back to you and I, Mark. If you could become a member of any band, what band would you want to join?
A member. See, I'm old school, man. So, because like Bad Company was a big influence. Paul Rodgers. I like that first. I liked them all, but that first album, my goodness, that's how I started singing. I just sang the records in my room. So Bad Company, I just always gravitate to them. And then again, I said the Jay Giles band. I think I could do a good impression, mimic Peter Wolf a little bit. Not real difficult vocally. He's just that raspy, rough voice, but he was so cool when you saw them live. So that would be fun.
I'm watching Paul.
I can't see them, but I hope they play some of their new stuff, man. It sounds great. We'll be playing some tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be playing a few of our new ones because during the whole past year, we were busy. We were active. We were writing and got a bunch of stuff, and a bunch of new stuff. So
I think he went outside.
he said he was going to get a coat on. I don't know.
Yeah, here, I'm going to pull him up. I think he's outside with a light.
Looks like an alien.
That's
glitchery at its finest, always.
And we'll let him try and find some better service. Let me think. Oh, he has really good service now. At least it says he's at. Nope, it went back.
Good.
You were for a second.
He put some aluminum foil on the antenna. That'll get you in there.
Really date yourself now, Mark.
The rabbit ears. Put the foil on the rabbit ears. Turn it slow.
Wait right there.
All right. How's this, Bill?
Yeah, that's better than you were.
Okay. Let's see.
The picture's
I gotta
not
find
great,
a place to set my light. Being that
Are you outside?
He is.
I'm absolutely outside. I'm standing up by the road. I live way out I've been homeless since October. I just got some squatters out of my house, and where I'm staying is very out in the country, and I have no reception or anything. So yeah, I'm actually out on a country road right now, where I have some reception. I have my nice little flannel on, so we're all good. Let's get rolling.
It's supposed to drop to 15 or 14 degrees. So we
That's all right.
You can see your breath while you're talking.
I'm in the coziness of Rocky's studio. Toasty warm.
That's all right. I've done crazier things for rock and roll.
I know that, Paul.
Okay, Paul, this question's for you. If you could have written any song that in the history of music, like that one song that just really grabs you that you wish you would have written, what song would you say that was?
I've written a whole album full. We just released 4 songs. We're going to be playing Thursday. My favorite, and this will sound arrogant, this will sound full of myself, whatever, but my favorite music in the world is the music that I make. I wouldn't be making it otherwise if it wasn't my favorite stuff. Yeah, it would be nice if a song that's famous and would be able to pay some bills and everything. But, I love the music that I write, and the music that I write with the guys that I write. So I'm happy writing what I write. So I don't know if that's the answer that you're looking for, but that's the answer that this skinny guinea's going to give.
I think, Mark, were you able to understand what he was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little digitized.
I think that's the answer. I didn't even think of that. I wouldn't be able to pick a cover tune. I mean, I love so many different genres and the different decades, whatever. I doubt I could pick one song. Just almost as difficult trying to pick, say what my favorite band is,
This question is one that is just kind of, I ask it all the time right now, and that's, who would be your Dave Grohl? The Foo Fighters are known for pulling people up out of the crowd and letting them sing along with them or play along. If that was to happen for you, who would be pulling you up on stage? So what band would you go see and hold that sign up that says, I want to play, insert this song?
That's just not me, period. If I'm watching live music, I'm there to dig the scene, listen. I don't, people ask me to sit in, come up, just locally, whatever, a lot. And that's I'm always grateful, but I'm not good cold, and I'm there to see who's ever playing, So I'm not one to be pulled up on stage. I'm shy.
Once again, don't know if this is going to be the answer that you're looking for, but I get to do that all the time. All these local bands, whenever they call me up and I get to sing a song with them, there is no greater thrill in my life. Like, one of the things is anybody that's in a band, anybody that's up on stage, it doesn't matter how good you are. I give you the respect. I give you the props because you're out there doing it. And there's so many people that want to that aren't. So first off, you get respect for that. Now, being that you're doing that and being like with our Rock for Life family and this SOS and all that, again, the word I said was family. And I love and respect all these other performers so much so that, car's going to be driving by. When they call me up on stage, that is an amazing, amazing thing. And I take a lot of honor. There we go. I get a lot of honor whenever somebody does call me up on stage. And the one thing I will have to clarify, I will say this is, I do not jump up on stage of my own volition. I will say that. I firmly believe that when another band is on stage, that is their time to shine. It is not my place. But if they call me, if they point to me and call me up, you better believe I'm getting up there. But I won't just go up of my own volition. I think that's rude. If you just jump up on stage without asking somebody, I think that's kind of rude. I'm not there to steal a spotlight, but if they call me up, I'll do that. And I get lots of bands. I love it. It's the camaraderie, so there's the answer for that one.
Well, I have to agree with you. That's one of my favorite things that I see is when a band calls another local musician up on stage. I absolutely love that. And the other thing I love is when I see a local band cover another local band. So
yes. When I was in Ill Fated, a long time ago, I have to say is we used to cover 10 years from Big House Pete. Yep. Because as we were a beginning band, here comes another vehicle. He really took us under his wing. Okay. So he took us under his wing, and he like booked a lot of shows and things for that nature. And he gave us No Name Young Punks a chance. And so we learned his song 10 years. And anytime that we weren't playing with him, we would do that song in our set list. Holy cow, is it busy out here today? Because what we used to say is imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And so we would love to do that. And I would love to be able to make a CD of all of our like family bands covering another band's song. You know what I mean? Like have a whole CD of band A doing song by band B, so on and so forth ad infinitum.
I think that would be an awesome idea. We need to figure out someone to head that.
Not me.
I'm sitting here in my living room while you're sitting outside freezing.
I'm okay, man.
I do have a Paul story from this living room. And his ill-fated days. Back when ill-fated...
Like 20 years ago.
16.
Okay.
So I was just starting to do the rock show. Bands would come play live for the Pennsylvania Rock Show. And I always told them that they had to play acoustic. And ill-fated showed up with amps and electric guitars and a electric drum kit and got me in trouble. My wife is not a happy camper. You remember that?
Yeah, I will always remember that because I will remember exactly what I said. Is you're like, all right, well, the bands that come here and play acoustic, and I said, well, we don't.
Yep.
It's simple, 2 words. I said we don't.
And it's
so
still
we're bringing our amps. So sorry, bud.
And I can't remember his name. Who was you had a kid with you who's clearly not a kid now.
Judd. No, he just turned 21 or 22 a couple months ago. I can't remember. It's I think 22 possibly. So
there's a cut of one of your originals, And at the beginning, he yells, "Ill-fated, don't play no acoustic."
Dude, you should get that cut and send that to me. That would be awesome.
Oh, I have it. I'll just have to pull it out and get it for you.
Yeah.
So what happened there was there are some infamous nights for the Pennsylvania Rock Show. One of them was the very first night when Brian Schaefer was here from Cage, and we didn't know there was going to be a show. And when we were done, he was like, "Hey, we should do that more often." 16 years later, I'm still doing it. And then the next biggest one was when you guys showed up electric, because then I knew we could pull it off. So I started bringing bands in electric.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't in the scene then, so this is cool. Like, just learning about what you've been doing with your show. I didn't realize that.
I wasn't really on the scene yet either, Mark. I was still finding what coattails to ride.
I was working. I wasn't even fronting a band. I always sang, but I was out of it for basically 25 years since the mid '80s. So I'm back. I got a few years left.
Hey, let's talk about.
Dude, I can't wait for tomorrow, man.
That's where I was headed. Let's talk about tomorrow a little bit. We'll start with Mark. What should a listener who's not heard the Bostal Boys before expect to see tomorrow on the live stream?
Well, I know we have, I think 4 of our songs that we're playing are new from just this past year. So if you know our material and you're gonna hear, we've been playing those songs out a little bit, but the main thing to look for is some new stuff. And as a band, I just sense it and feel it. We all are happy with our new stuff.
How would you describe your sound for those people that haven't heard you?
We're a rock and roll band. We're not hard and heavy. We're melodic, sometimes almost popish. But what I really like about our music, it's not all the same. Some of our songs are kind of hard rock. Some are more melodic, danceable, whatever. So it doesn't all sound the same to me. It's not Beethoven, but I really, really dig our stuff. So,
Paul, we're gonna throw the same question to you, Paul. What should they expect to hear out of Black Ridge tomorrow night?
Well, it's honest to God, it's almost going to be like the same answer as Mark's. Is we are playing our recently released EP, Live Fast and Leave a Good Looking Corpse. We're going to be playing all 4 songs from that tomorrow. And again, like Mark said, is each song is different than the other. So we're a high energy mix of rock, blues, funk, and soul. And the best way to say it is if you sound like Bridge. Put it.
Oh, wait. Paul has moved into a bad spot again.
Oh. I didn't even move.
Well, you were at 3 bars and now you're at 1.
I think it's a temperature
I
inversion.
didn't even move.
It might be.
It's the atmospheric pressure.
It sounds like the really, really bad sound effects from like the 1980s for computers in the background.
What's going to sound good tomorrow?
Here, you're coming in better now. Maybe this is better.
Yeah,
Stay
right
it's
there.
going to sound good tomorrow. That's the important thing.
That's right, Paul. Don't you worry.
Okay.
So, Paul.
Okay.
Paul,
But yes, so just like what Mark had said, is we're a big mix. So, rock, funk, blues, soul. You're going to hear high energy. You're going to hear our new EP. So we're very excited to play tomorrow.
Keyboards, saxophone.
There's like 19 people on stage when Black Ridge shows up. There's like 19 people on stage.
We like it.
I played part of.
I love it.
I played part of Live Fast and Leave a Good Looking Corpse for my son last night because the sax was in there, and he was sitting in the chair doing the. the people not. Hold on, I got to put myself back up on the screen so everybody can see what I was doing there. He was doing the moving to the music.
Bill, since Blackridge started, Blackridge and the boys we've done numerous dual gigs together, and then naturally like Rock for Life, the benefit shows. So we've had a lot of fun playing together. It's a good combo. And
I love it. I love when Blackridge and Borstal's play.
Yep.
Yeah. You better have some toilet paper ready. You better have some toilet paper ready, because we're gonna blow your pants out.
Yeah, it's not because it's going to be a shit show. We're just going to blow it and blow them pants out.
Hey, Paul. So,
but we digress.
Paul, I asked Mark this question earlier, and it was what brought you to this project? Like, what drew you to it? Both the concert series and the song.
Well, when I had initially the request from Rocky, would be interested, and as we had talked earlier, I love being up on stage singing with other bands. This is now, there was 60 people, right? Like 60 people involved in the video or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's now like 60 other names of people that I can say that I made music with. So honestly, it was my own ego. It was stroking my own ego. This is a whole big other list of other people that know. Honestly, though, it's respect. The respect that I have for other bands, and just the sheer necessity of the project. I will have to say, it's like it needs to be done. This needs to happen.
I'm going to throw this question to Mark. We'll maximize him. There we go. Mark, if you could tell the venue owners that have been struggling something from your heart to make them keep fighting, what would you tell them?
Just hang in there, man. I don't know. I don't have an easy answer when things will come back to normal. I mean, until the virus calms down and hopefully disappears. It's just difficult, for them because of the capacity limits, and a lot of people are scared, not even coming out. Hang in there, just like we are. I mean, if we're not playing, rehearsing, whatever, I go all over to see live music. I enjoy it so much, and that's been the hardest thing for me over all this time. Have so much fun watching. There's so much talent out there.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Or I wouldn't be able to do what I've been doing for 16 years. I wouldn't have anybody to bring on.
And we become friends, with so many of our favorite venues, and so we feel for them. So when you get an opportunity to do a benefit like this, that's a neat thing. Being in a band, we do so much benefit stuff. Someone asks, I don't think we ever say no. It's an easy way for us to help, to raise money, whatever. But it feels good. Every little bit helps. That's what I always say.
Switch up here. Paul, what would you tell the venue owners?
There's more people on your side than against you. Hang in there. We're coming out. We're showing you that we got your backs. And fingers crossed, pray to God that this will end someday, and we'll be there. And we just still tell everybody to please go out and support places, even places that had music that aren't able to have live stuff anymore. I know one of the things that I plan on doing is I'm going down to the Starlight Lounge, getting me some pierogies on Thursday after or before we play or something of that nature. Going to help support Moondog down there. So I know that's, it's something little, but, and tell everybody to go out and you know what? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So I'll just say that. I won't go anymore. So.
All right. So last question for you guys, and then I'm going to play the interview that I recorded from Matt the other day. And we'll start with Paul since I have him up on the screen. Could you kind of, for the people that haven't purchased the ticket yet, what do you think is the main reason that they should tune in tomorrow and check you guys out?
Because it's going to be a good show. Aside from the fact that it's a good cause and there's so many people struggling, and this is a busy night tonight. And so many bars are struggling, so many people are struggling, and their livelihoods are on the line. Aside from that, it's just going to be an awesome show. Common Crown, Bostal Boys, and Black Ridge. That's a heck of a lineup right there, and this is going to be an hour of power. So just for sheer entertainment value, not counting how important it is, just the sheer entertainment.
For those of you that are tuned in or watching the replay of the video, down in the scroll bar below Paul right now is the information on how you can purchase tickets. You can go to the website SOS2020pgh.org/concerts. And it is sponsored by all those logos on the outside around Paul right now. The Next Door Cafe, Shady Lady Studio, Grassroots Homegrown Show, Second Scene, 10 Band Productions, Endeavor After, Build the Scene, Ryan McCutcheon Rhythm 19 Fund, The Vault Recording Studio, In Stuff Music, Alexis Art and Designs, and Flying Scooter Promotions. I think I got them all. I'm going to go ahead and turn that question over to Mark, and then when Mark's finished, we'll get to hear a nice long conversation between Matt and I, which I told someone is the most he and I have ever talked, and I've known him since 1996. Okay, Mark.
Well, hey, real quick, am I cool to go inside then?
Yeah, you're good. Thank you, Paul.
That was my question.
All right,
So,
everybody, please tune in. Please tune in. So, have a good one,
tomorrow,
guys. Love
Paul.
ya.
Pierogies tomorrow, Paul.
Heck yeah.
So I would say the same thing. The neat thing about the benefit, the cost for watching one Thursday night show is only $3 or $10, and you can watch them all. So it's not expensive, and it's an hour of your time, and I think you will be entertained.
I agree. I watched the first one, and I'm gonna rewatch it, which is another key with the season pass. You get a year's worth of video on demand, which includes the live streamings and a bunch of music videos from the local scene. And look at that. Paul just popped back in, and he's 100% green. Paul, I think you have the best connection you've had all night right now. All right.
So I'm free to go too.
Yes. Thank you for coming out and hanging with me for a little while. Tell Rocky I said hello.
Thanks for doing what you do, Bill.
You're welcome. And I'm going to turn this over to myself and Matt from Monday night.
Love you all. Rock
Love
and roll.
to see you tomorrow.
Okay, man.
With me now from A Common Crown and various other bands, Matt Ferrani.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, it is Ferrani, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I hear people say it differently all the time.
Yep.
They put the Italian on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like I get Damiano.
Yeah. Nope. Just Franny.
So Matt, how many bands are you playing in right now?
Probably like a strong baker's dozen, Bill.
That sounds about right.
No, I don't know. I think six or so, but who's counting? Sometimes 7, depending on what part of the year, what month it is, I guess. I like playing, so just try to squeeze as many as I can in.
You're here representing A Common Crown tonight, but you're also in Bostal Boys.
Correct.
Are playing tomorrow night as well.
Yep.
And pretty good friends with Black Ridge, the third band.
Yep, for sure.
So just right off the bat, what drew you to this project, to the SOS 2020 PGH thing as a whole?
Well, obviously, I'm good friends with Rocky. You know, we play in a band together, a couple bands together actually. But more than that, pretty much playing music is all I do. That's why I play in multiple bands. And when all of a sudden you don't have that anymore, and it's a real big deal. So not only that, but venues can't sustain through this time, so they're closing down, and that really sucks. And that's awful for someone like me who, that's kind of like all I do. So I would like to do anything in my power to try to help this cause. And I think Eric and Rocky did a fantastic job at Bob McCutcheon, at the vault, and every single person involved in everything, because everything behind the scenes, I watched it start from the beginning, come to fruition till last night, and it was just an amazing process, and just a ton of work went into that. So kudos to those guys. But I'm glad that there's a team working on the cause of saving our stages, because it might be something that might get overlooked by some of the major causes, I guess, per se, going on in the world. But to us little guys down here in the Berg, we need our stages, so we're doing everything we can to save them.
That's personally, I knew about it around the time that it started to, but I wasn't brought on until the end, when they decided, hey, we probably should have a website.
Right.
But I agree that the big reason I jumped on, I don't play any music, but
right. Well, but you might as well. You're pretty much like the silent member of every local band, so
I get that a lot. But without the bands, then I can't have my hobby of doing the websites and podcasting and live streaming, because then you guys don't have anything to talk about.
Right. And
no reason to write music.
Exactly. And there's the sound men, and there's stage techs, and there's bartenders, and there's bar owners, club owners, bouncers, all that stuff. All those guys, they're shafted too during this time. So we do everything we can to help each other out.
And I know your bandmates Jen and Steve have a venue/bar that's been hit.
They do. It's a perfect example of a struggling venue, and they just they went through a process of remodeling, and they did all this stuff, and it just so happened that COVID hit at the worst possible time for them. But yeah, they're a perfect example of a small business trying to a small venue per se trying to pull through during this time.
And I'm sure that that they jumped on as soon as they heard about it.
Yep.
I was actually just there. I dropped my car off there.
Well, hey, me too.
Which sounds really weird. That's at the other business.
I think I still owe unpaid bill there. So
I left it with the car. I'm not going to say where, but that's where, is that where a Common Crown practice is?
Yeah, right next door to K&S. Their shop.
I know when we were there, the dogs weren't very happy.
No, actually, all my bands practice there except for the Bostal Boys. Silk 9 practices there, and After Fall practices there. Slant 6 used to practice there. So that room gets a lot of use. Gets a lot of rocking.
Bostal Boys, I can't remember the name of that place. I've been there.
It's called Ralph's.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a music guild, musicians guild. It's a really cool place too.
I went there and interviewed Royal Honey, and
yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah, that was different. Yelled at Jerry from Winter's Descent.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't serious, and he was like, "Well, we're done anyway."
Right. Yeah, a lot of bands practice there throughout the week. There's different rooms. There's multiple rooms. It's a cool place. Ralph's a nice guy.
And that's another business that would be affected by this as well.
Exactly. Yep.
So a Common Crown, have you guys been writing anything during the pandemic?
Yeah, actually we have, and we've been recording at Rattleclack with our good buddy Jazz, and we're actually going to we'll have an album coming out here. I don't know. We just started it, so it's going to be a while. But yes, we have been writing and we have been recording during this time. We've been working this whole time, as much as we could anyway.
I definitely see pictures of you in the studio a lot. So
yeah. I recorded Jazz's, a lot on various projects. Sometimes I'll just be sitting around, pantsless at 10 in the morning, and he'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to come over and record a Half Wheel song real quick?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, man, I'll be right over." So I spent a lot of time with Jazz, as I like it there. But yeah, that's where Comic Con's recording at Rattleclack, and like I said, it should be a good, I don't know, 6 months or so till everything's all wrapped up.
And he's another business that was hit really hard by the pandemic.
Yeah, he just has a entertainment company, both international entertainment company, as he puts it. He was hit really hard. He was just sharing pictures on Facebook the other day about where he was the last 5 years, and it was just like these various countries and states he was at this time of the year, and now he's doing nothing. He's hanging out with me every day in this studio,
or calling me and telling me to call his accountant. I just did his websites. Actually, he told me to email her some information. I'm like, I'm not emailing her that. But so there's so much I could ask you about, because I mean, even the history of what I do goes back to you. I mean, I tell a story a lot. When I first started the rock show, I don't know if you remember this, you handed me a big plastic bag full of CDs because I was like, I don't know what to play. And you're like, here, play this.
Play these, yeah. I vaguely remember this. I vaguely remember the CD era. But yeah, I vaguely remember that. But yeah, I guess we've been part of the local music scene together in this fight as long as I can remember, huh, Bill?
I think that I started playing with the hybrid site. That's how, that was the first thing I did. Local music was hybrid.
Right. So that'd have been like the 90s, the late 90s.
I want to say it was like 96 or 97.
Yeah, that makes sense. About 97.
And
I remember that website too.
I was talking to Mike Pierock about it one day, and I was like, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I totally ripped off the Creep site. He's like, yeah, we all knew.
I ripped Creep off for a lot of stuff back in those days. Like, I stole a lot of stuff from them. We'll call it influenced by. I learned a lot of stuff from those guys. Yeah, right.
He's another great guy in the music scene. I absolutely love Mike.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff I was greatly influenced by watching Mike and the Creep Boys back in the day. And, it's no secret that I'm a uber Creep fan. I make it known all the time.
I learned something odd last week on the interview portion of the SOS PGH show. And that's that Rocky had no idea that Whiskey High is now Scale.
Oh, yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, I don't know. He listens to a different kind of rock and roll, different.
Well, I mean, he was like, wait,
genre.
He knew who Whiskey High was.
Right. You'd be surprised about how many people don't realize that.
I mean, that was before I was in the music scene. Just before, but it was before.
Yeah, I remember seeing Whiskey High when I was in high school. So they're old. I'm old, but they're older.
You are not old.
And now I actually have the honor of playing in a band with Mikey P and Bones now a couple times a year in Dimwit. Actually, we have a couple shows coming up. Don't ask me what the hell the dates are, but we have our once a couple times a year shows coming up. So I look forward to seeing and hanging out and jamming with those guys. So since I grew up watching them play.
I thought you were going to tell me you had their cassette.
Well, I do. 100% pure. I got that on cassette. I bought it at like National Record Mart or some shit.
I had it for like a month. Mikey P sent me a bunch of stuff right before one of the PA Rock Show anniversary shows so I could give it away. And I'm sure you remember that year I had all that stuff on the pool table at the Moose. And I should have kept it, but I put it out there and it was going quick.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I'm sure there's another one floating around somewhere.
But what could you tell me? This is a question. I mean, you've been on my show quite a few times, but I've changed up the questions, as I'm sure you could believe, I guess is the word. But what is something about you that fans of your various bands would be surprised to know?
Oh. Well, I don't know. I usually air out all my my dirty poop jokes and poop secrets on Facebook and stuff, so I don't keep anything hidden.
I just saw one of those today.
Yeah. I like to I like fart jokes. They're funny. Man, I don't know. That's a loaded question, Bill. I'm not sure. Maybe that my all-time favorite musical group of all time is Huey Lewis and the News.
I think I actually knew that, but I bet a lot of people don't.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. You would think it might be, Metallica or Motley Crue, which those also are some of my all-time favorites. But my all-time of all-timeiest favorite would be the News. Maybe they would find that weird.
I asked that question of a metal band one time, and the lead singer told me they wrote a children's book. I was like, yeah, I bet none of them guessed that.
Yeah, right.
When did you realize that you wanted to be a musician?
When I was a little kid, my dad played the drums, and I'd watch him play in his band. They'd practice in our dining room, and I guess I just always kind of wanted to. And it was like the only thing I was ever any remotely good at, so I just stuck with that. I guess from being when I was a real little kid.
I don't believe that remotely good thing part.
Thanks, buddy.
If I'm throwing the Dave Grohl question at you, I have the eyes got big. That's what I love about. I just started doing video last March, and I didn't know what I was missing because I asked those questions. I couldn't see facial reactions. So, part of the PA Rock Show recently is that I've been trying to reach out to Dave Grohl and get him to come on the show, which
that'd be cool.
And his management team never even replied to my email address. So then I tagged him a bunch of times, got nothing that way. So what I do now is I just keep mentioning him, hoping someone will tell him someday. The question is, the Foo Fighters are known for pulling people up on stage and letting them play with them. So my question for you is, who is your Dave Grohl? What band would you want to go up on stage with?
Oh, man. I'd really like to, back to my previous answer for my previous question, I'd really like to take a shot at jamming with the News. I always wanted to play in a band like that had, like 11 members in the horn section and, a kazoo player and to see what that would be like. I have a lot of fun in the Bostal Boys, because there's only 5 of us, but I like playing in the band with keys. You know what I mean? The piano, I've never, Dimwood's got keyboard keys in it too, and I really like playing in some bands with keyboard players because that's something, never experienced before until later in life. But I don't, other than Huey Lewis and the News or some old timey hair metal bands, I'm not sure who I'd want to. I think I'd rather at that point just want to sit there and watch the show. Actually,
I mean, I could let you borrow my kids. I have a trumpet player, a clarinet player, a flute player.
We can put together a band.
Well, Aiden can play the trumpet, the piano, the flute, the harmonica, and the fife. I know, right? That fife gets people every time.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to play some Jethro Tull or something, that'll come in handy.
He went to Fort Necessity, bought a fife, brought it home, taught himself how to play it.
Nice. He's
scary. He's
got to be getting big, right? He's got to be pretty big.
He's 12. He's
right.
5'4.5", I think is what we measured him at the other day.
Wow, it's gonna be taller than me pretty soon.
All 3 of them are taller than Grandma. But yeah, he's 12. The girls are 10, and doing very well. And the music thing, they all 3 love it. I think that's because they used to hear music in the living room all the time.
Yeah, they're probably accustomed to music people coming in and out of their house for the last, since they've been alive.
Yeah. If you could go back in time without breaking the space-time continuum, say I pulled your Huey Lewis in the News in here.
Gotta get back in time.
What band would you want to follow around and at what time for a whole year?
You mean like a famous band, right? Follow them around?
Yep.
Since I was enamored with the Motley Crue movie, The Dirt, which I watched probably 900 times because I love it, I would like to just follow them or any band around for that Sunset Strip era, right before they were on the cusp of getting, blowing up huge. For around that era, I'd like to follow them around. It's not just because of all the cocaine stripper hooker parties and all, the naked boobies and shit all over the place. It has nothing to do with that. But yeah, I always when I was a little kid, I was like infatuated with that Sunset Strip era bands, and just that whole lifestyle. I was a little kid, so I didn't understand the debauchery side of it, but I always thought the music side of it was wicked cool. So I'd probably go back to, I would say 1987, 1985 LA Sunset Strip era.
I have a feeling that movie didn't show everything.
Oh, there's no way it could. It'd be rated X.
I have a feeling that it was a lot worse than what they
Yeah,
showed.
I don't know if you read the book. It didn't show everything. Yeah. The movie would have been rated X.
I did watch the movie twice.
Yeah, the movie was very good. I watched it about, like I said, like 740 times.
Now the ZZ Top, a little old band from Texas, I've watched that about 10 times.
Did you?
I didn't think I would. I watched it the first time. I was like, that's pretty good. Kept watching it. But who from the music scene that you have not played with so far would you like to play with?
Back to Mike Pierock. I don't think I've ever even jammed with Mike that I could think of on anything in all the years. Like we've seen each other play and, been on a million shows with each other. I've watched a guy play, a million times, but I don't think I've ever had the pleasure to jam with Mr. Pierock or anything. Not that I can remember. So I'm going to say Mike.
That surprised me. I thought
right.
Sure you would have.
Yeah, and I've got to jam with everybody. I always call it my local musician bucket list. Get to jam with everybody, crossing them off. But I don't think like I said, once again, I have a bad memory. But to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever got the pleasure of jamming with Mike. So I'm going to say Mr. Pierock.
One of my favorite things that I remember seeing you do was Diana from ACAG and I put on a summer jam at Cook's, which is no more. But
yeah, right.
And you came in and sat in with Doppler Effect and played all their originals.
Oh yeah, that was fun. And then I vaguely remember that. And then it's I guess it's maybe been 5 or 6 years now, but I actually played with Doppler Effect again. It was like around Halloween a few years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago at the Edgewood Winery. I got to jam with Doppler again. So that was great. Love jamming with those guys. I like trying to challenge myself, play some different kind of stuff, especially original material, of bands I really like. And I've heard those guys play a million times, so I kind of, knew their songs offhand.
That was going to be my question. Did you practice with them at all? Rehearse?
Well, yeah, but it's funny because they don't ever practice.
I know.
Every time I would jam with them, Billy would be like, "Man, we don't ever practice. We'll get together." So yeah, I don't remember if I did the very first time back in the day. I want to say no, but a couple years ago when I jammed with them Edgewood, because we had to play all night. We had one rehearsal, but there was like 40 songs I had to crash course. Some of them I'd never heard before, so we just kind of maybe did like a minute of each tune, kind of a crash course. I learned that technique from Mikey Pallone. Actually, when you got to cram 30 songs into a 2-hour practice, you just kind of do like a minute of each one. So,
see, normally this is where I would ask you to tell me something embarrassing about one of your band members, but I don't know which band to pick. I mean, we could pick a common ground, but
Steve is deathly afraid of snakes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, don't even get him like a rubber snake and throw it at him and think it's funny because he'll get real upset.
And if you don't know who Steve is, you don't want Steve upset.
Yeah. But now you know his kryptonite. He is really, really, really afraid of snakes. He does not like them.
Coincidentally, the first time I ever saw Steve take care of an issue was at that show that you played with Doppler Effect at Cook's. And we won't get into that, but it was fast. Wow, that was quick. It was like you knew I was going to ask you that question.
Some embarrassing. Oh yeah. Well, I don't think there's anything embarrassing about anybody else. I mean, Kyle just embarrasses himself. Just kidding, Kyle.
So, you and Rocky both have played in Super Monkey.
Yep, but actually, I think we have a gig coming up in a few weeks at Jurgles opening for LA Guns with Super Monkey. But every once in a while, yeah, me and Rocky. That's how I met Rocky, actually. Every once in a while, we'll get together with Chris. And Chris is Super Monkey. I couldn't. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, so I just call him Chris Super Monkey.
GLO something.
Yeah, Giloboloski Super Monkey. Yeah, that's how I met Rocky. But yeah, we do play in Super Monkey also.
That's one of those bands that has had a lot of different musicians in it.
Yep, which that's what makes it cool. That's what I said. Chris is actually, he is Super Monkey, and he has a kind of like a rotating cast of characters on his songs and albums.
One of my favorite podcasts that isn't my own is Lou Lombardi. It's Lou Dini's Rock and Roll Circus, and he played. Dini, yeah. He played with
yeah, right. I did know that. Yep. Yep. A lot of guys have.
Let's see. I think my phone is vibrating. I don't have it. It's over there somewhere. If there is an apocalyptic event,
hope so,
that wipes out most of the human population, leaves a handful of people, and only one song from every band survives to help repopulate the earth, which Common Crown song should survive?
Oh, Common Crown song. Well, we got some really cool ones off our new record that no one's heard yet, so I'm not going to say any of those because you wouldn't know what the heck I was talking about. But I guess we'll just go with our single "Awake," like awake of the dead, awake of the zombies.
See, now you made me think of another question. So there was this band. They're from Texas, Denton, Texas. They're called Diesel Beast. So clearly they play acoustic folk, right?
Right.
This is their question. This is the Diesel Beast question, just like the other one's the Dave Grohl question. If you could play with any band from any era at any venue, who would you play with and where?
Well, back to Rockstar movies. I don't know if you ever saw the Queen movie. The famous clip where they're playing at the, they're all in white, they're on that stage, and the audience just looks like a sea of people. You know, have any idea what I'm talking about? The Queen movie.
I have not watched it. Bohemian Rhapsody, that one.
Yeah, I think they're playing it like Farm Aid or something like that. It's just like a gigantic festival.
So I have seen the real video of them.
Okay, well, the one they did in the movie is just spot on, perfect. So you've seen the actual clip. You know what I'm talking about. I'd like to play to that crowd, or one of those crowds where you see like Iron Maiden or some, metal band playing in some,
just the sea of arms.
It's just like a sea of people. I've always wondered what that, like when there's like 300 yards between the stage and the first row of people. There's so many people. I was wondering what it would be like to experience something like that. I've never even been at a show like that, let alone played at one. Most I've ever played in front of a few thousand people. I can't imagine, a couple 100,000 people. That'd be insane.
So you want to know why it's the Diesel Beast question?
Why?
Because their answer was they wanted to play with Dio at Stonehenge.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
And of course I said, well, maybe that's why Stonehenge is there, is to bring them back so that you can play with them.
Right.
But yeah, that was like, I was looking for an answer like you gave. And that's what I got. Stonehenge and Dio.
I wish I would have thought of that.
That's
how Metallica played in Antarctica. Didn't they play? They're the only band that played in all 7 continents.
Yes.
Did you ever see that video? They're playing in that dome in Antarctica. That was a pretty fucking cool gig. So,
the one venue that I want, like, I don't have a bucket list per se, but I would love to see a band play at Red Rocks.
Yeah, right. That place looks awesome. I've just seen videos too of bands play. That was another. I was trying to think of that in my mind. I'm glad you mentioned that one because that's another one that would be wicked cool to play at.
Or Wembley.
Yeah, right. Or Madison Square Garden, or pretty much anywhere out of my damn small hometown. You know what I mean?
Madison Square Garden. 2 summers ago, my parents and my family went to New York City and we're on a tour, like a guided tour on a bus, which was awesome. If you get a chance to do that, and the world's not trying to kill all of us,
Right.
do it. But we're coming down the road and I'm like, it's Madison Square Garden. I'm like, we're going to stop at Madison Square Garden. No, we're not. Just drove right past it. They didn't even say anything. I was like, at least mention that we passed it.
Yeah, right. Like, hey, it's Madison Square Garden, guys.
But, all right. So here's your chance to tell the venue owners and the fans out there how you feel about what's going on, which is pretty broad, but you know,
okay. What do you mean? Well, how I feel about what's going on
as far as the about how the music scene has been affected by the pandemic as a whole.
Oh, well, I mean, we kind of touched on that earlier in your first question. For someone like myself, it really sucks because I don't really have any other hobbies. I mean, I have a job and stuff, but I don't really do anything else but play music. That's why I play in multiple bands, because I just can't get enough from just one. So for someone like myself, who all of a sudden I went from playing, 70 plus shows in 2019 to I think I, maybe played 12 or 13 last year. It's tough. So I don't know really I don't really know how I feel on the matter. A lot of people have opinions on every single thing in the world, it seems. So I have absolutely no idea how to fix anything, Bill. And I would not even proclaim to try to tell anybody how to fix anything. That's pretty much why I share poop jokes all the time, because that is what I'm qualified to talk about, drumming and poop jokes. So
you will notice that I never post anything religion or politics.
I don't post anything serious unless it's plugging a show or a charity event, plugging Rock for Life. But if it's not music related, it's just something stupid and satire, something funny.
The other day, I for the first time in forever.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Summer. I saw for the first time an argument on Facebook that wasn't political, and I'm going to bring it up because I'm sure you have an opinion on this one.
All right.
And that is
I like Van Hagar.
You knew where I was going.
I just assumed that was going to be argument. I'm going to go with Van Hagar. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like David Lee Roth. Of course, he was fucking Diamond Dave, but I've always been a Sammy Hagar fan, and I just want to say that Sammy can sing all Dave songs, but Dave can't sing any of Sammy's songs.
Yes, someone made that comment, and that was
it might have been me.
It might have been.
Mad love to you both. I'm a huge Van Halen fan. Always have been.
I think. Sorry, my daughter is holding frozen food up, asking if she can make it. I think that David Lee Roth is more of the consummate front man.
Yeah, right. He is. He's the ultimate showman.
Whereas Sammy was a better vocalist.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not take anything away from Dave. He could sing really well, and he wrote good songs. I mean, there's a million awesome Dave Van Halen songs. I'm a huge Van Hagar fan, for just Sammy fan in general. So I like them both, but if I have to pick one, we've known each other long enough that how did I know? How did I know that was a question you were going to ask, Bill? I just pulled that one out of the air. I just assumed.
Or you watched last week and were like, hey, that was mine. And I, being old also, forgot that it was you. Although you are older than me.
Right. I know. I get that.
Not much.
No.
August, September, October.
Just a few months.
4 months. Yes, I really had to count that. I was teaching Spanish today. Bear with me. That's the brain explodes on those days. But I was telling someone earlier. Oh, it was another teacher. It was a sub, and she asked me where she was supposed to go the next period. And I was like, "Look, I don't know my schedule, what language I'm supposed to speak when I'm there." I said, "I might be speaking computer,
wrong guy.
I might be speaking Spanish, I might be speaking science. I don't know." But if so, you mentioned Rockstar, so it's hard for me to go to that question now. You were talking about a different movie, but
Right.
the movie Rockstar. If you were going to form a tribute band, what tribute band, like what band would you want to tribute?
Like if I was going to play in it, you mean?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be in like a really good 80s or hair metal tribute band. I know there's a lot of them in the Berg. Always wanted to do that my whole life, even before it became like the kind of in thing to do. Or like a couple months ago, or it might have been a year or two ago. No, I don't know. Time flies fast. But not that long ago, a friend of mine asked me if I'd be interested in playing it in a Huey Lewis and News tribute band. It was going to be like the harder rock and roll, the Huey Lewis experience, or something like that, or something like it was just going to feature other musicians too, but mostly Huey Lewis and the News. And I thought that was a wicked cool idea. And then the COVID thing kind of ruined everything. And I figured I'll just stick with the 6 bands I'm already in.
Well, there are 7 days.
Right. That was my philosophy too. I got to leave one open in case I get an offer for another one. I cram it in there.
I told someone the other day, I was like, look, I'm trying to schedule my podcast, and I realize I'm actually really doing 3 right now. I don't know how. Because I have the PA Rock Show, I have 3 questions in a song, and then I have this.
Right.
And this was, in passing, I was talking about to Rocky about the concerts, and he's like, hey, do you want to interview the bands? And I was like, I could do that. And then I told Kelly. And a joke, not so much joke, 3 questions in a song. I was on episode like 5 before anyone in my house knew I was doing it. Because I figured if I got it started before they knew, then they couldn't say, you can't do that. And the only reason I told Kelly was because Aiden heard me telling someone that I wasn't going to tell her. He's like, what? I'm like, hold on. Because like doing this doesn't take a lot of time because I don't have to edit it. But when I do the podcast, like the hour-long Pennsylvania Rock Show is more like 4.5 hours worth of work.
Right.
So, she heard another one. And she's like, what? Whereas when we did it back in the day, Matt, you guys would pull in, we set up in my living room, and we just go live.
Yeah, right.
However long we were live.
Whatever happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to fix audio quality and beep things out, and that stuff takes time. But I'm trying to think back. I don't think you were here the first 2 shows, but you had to be here pretty early on originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we played. I remember playing live.
You played
Played
here with BJ.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, right. Time flies.
I'm trying like that first. Definitely, you weren't here for the first show because I didn't know it was the first show. It was just Brian Schaefer and I.
Right.
And then the following week, Ed from Scratch, Kate, who was not in a band yet. I think Lars was here. Casey Pun. Wow, I can't remember who else. Brian and Kurt. No, Kurt wasn't here, but his mixer was. I can't remember. There were probably 10 people here for the second episode. But, you were definitely, like, when I say that it wouldn't happen without you, it really wouldn't have happened without you, because if you wouldn't have handed me those CDs, there would have been nothing for me to play.
Right.
And then you've been in so many bands over the years that I've been able to cover as well. And our cliques definitely intermingle.
Yeah, right. Kept you busy.
But, hey, Matt, so last thing, how can they find music from A Common Crown or any of your other 20,000 bands?
Well, all of my bands that play original music, we all have our music's available online. Common Crown, you go to our website. It's just commoncrown.com. There is an A in front of commoncrown.com. And or you go to our Facebook page. I think it's the only one. If you just search for Common Crown, we're the first one's going to come up. You'll see Jen's face, or you'll see our album cover. So same with Bostal Boys. Same with After the Fall. Silk 9. In fact, Silk 9 has a video debuting tonight in a little more than an hour. We're going to be on the X tonight also. And then we also have a video debuting on social media tonight. But you can find Silk 9's music, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music. Same with After the Fall, /6. I get them all? I don't know. I think I got. You can find Morano's album.
I don't know either. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, you get them. Like I said, all the bands I play and to play original music, you can find all of our stuff on social media somewhere. And if you can't, just drop me a line, and I will be more than happy to direct you on how to listen to our stuff or send you a CD or something. If anybody still listens to CDs out there.
I lied. I have one more question for you.
Okay.
How many albums, how many albums have you played on? Can you pull that number out of your head?
Yeah, like 13.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have. Wow.
I have them hanging on my wall downstairs. Like I have for each one I recorded, it was pressed. I have a little, not a plaque, but a framed copy of them. And I think between all the hybrid and all that After the Fall, a couple of Slant Six in there. I played on Stone Wicked Souls album. Common Crown got a new one coming out. Bostal Boys has a new record. It might be a double album because they have a whole album previously recorded before I was even in the band that was unreleased, and then I just went and recorded a whole nother record with the Bostal Boys. So they're talking about possibly doing a double Bostal Boys album coming out. As I said, Silk 9 has a EP coming out. So if you count EPs in total, 13.
Are you counting your half wheel stuff? In your honor?
Yeah, but I've only played on like one track on the album. You know what I mean? I haven't played on the whole album, but yeah, we can count half wheel.
Sure, there's a couple other bands.
Yeah, I did some Super Monkey. I recorded some stuff for Super Monkey. We have a video.
I think I just watched that video the other day.
I think it's called "Forgive Me When I'm Gone."
Yeah,
we recorded it in Leechburg, actually, in the cemetery.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize it.
Yeah, that's not too far from your house. It's in the cemetery.
Right there.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I knew that you had played with him, and I was watching the video, and I'm like, hey, I think that's him.
Yep, it's me and Rock. They're in that video.
But I was actually watching that on the SOS PGH virtual page where you go in.
Oh,
So for those of you that have bought the season pass, there is a virtual page where you can go and watch music videos.
That is cool. I didn't realize that. And I gave them some too of the ones I had, the MP4s of videos, various videos I had too. Some of them I didn't have the MP4 because someone else made the video. You know what I mean? But that's cool. I'm gonna go into that virtual page and check those out.
And they have that going on, and as of right now, you should be able to watch yesterday's. If you have the pass, you should be able to watch yesterday's concert.
Cool.
Starting today, and I think it's $10, and then there were some ticket fees. I think I was $13.33 total for 4 nights, which is it's 12 bands, $13.33. That's $1 something a band. And
yeah, and mine was even less than that actually. It was only like 11 something.
Huh.
I don't know why. You got ripped off, buddy.
I did.
But yeah, that is either way. It's a good deal for all those bands for all 4 nights. And I'm playing next week, but I still, got it because I wanted to watch it. And Summer's going to want to watch it, next week when I'm playing. So looking forward to it.
I'm assuming Common Crown and Bostal Boys are playing back to back. Who goes first?
I honestly don't know. I think the way it's written, it looks like Black Ridge will go, and then I would assume a Common Crown will play in the middle, and then I would assume Bostal Boys will be there at the end, but I am not positive. I hope I'm back to back, but Mike and I, Mike Conrad, the drummer from Black Ridge, him and I have a very similar setup. We share gear all the time, you know what I mean? So it'll be no issue whatsoever. So like I said, I'm looking forward to that show next Thursday.
So everyone, make sure if you have not done so already to go to sos2020pgh.org/concerts, purchase a ticket. If you already have a ticket, awesome. Make sure you check out those things I was mentioning. If you have the season pass, you'll have access to all of those videos and the live streams after they're recorded for a year. And that's that in and of itself is pretty awesome.
Yeah, right. That we go back and watch that.
Yep.
Very like professionally done production. The sound and the lights and the stage and everything there and stuff. The Next Door Cafe is just off the hook. Silk Nine had a chance to play there before the COVID. Like it was our grand opening. One time they had one show there and it was like awesome. I never got to play there again, so can't wait to go back on Thursday.
And since you brought up and stuff, awesome place. Lots of local musicians work there, including Rue Dog, who is doing the live streaming on their end.
Yeah, he did an amazing job. So Rue Dog was doing the live streaming last night?
As far as I know.
It went
like he was sending the feed to 10 Band Productions, who then did the production end of it.
Everything was great. I can't say enough about how well run and how professionally the production was on that live stream. It was one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. Right after that, I watched the Foo Fighters live streaming, and you can't tell the difference.
What is it with you and the Foo Fighters, Bill?
You know what? I've never even been to a Foo Fighters concert.
Me either, and I'm never going.
So I will tell you this: the stuff on the new album, not for me.
All right.
But the story, what started the whole thing, since you asked, is when I'm on YouTube, and I go into these deep dark holes of YouTube where I just let it play and play and play. No matter what I start with, I always end up on a Foo Fighters video, and I don't know how. Like I never went and watched. I never looked them up in the beginning. They just started showing up, and the more you watch them, the more they show up. So I could look up how to fix a hard drive in some laptop, and three videos later, I'm watching the Foo Fighters video. So that's how it started.
It's weird, bro.
So whatever they did to get themselves so high in searches.
So the one time you're trying to contact Dave Grohl, he's not fucking listening. But every other single time, no matter what you're doing on Facebook, the damn Foo Fighters video pops up.
And that's what happened. I was done watching. I went over to Facebook, and a notification popped up that the Foo Fighters were live, so I clicked on it.
Right.
And they played that Shame song that I don't like. I don't know. Have you heard it? You would know.
I think I have. I would try not to.
And then they played The Pretender after that. That one's okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, Matt, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you, bro. I missed you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Probably. Wow, last October.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a minute.
I didn't even. So I didn't make it to any of the Rock for Life stuff.
I know.
July. I know that. Think about it. That I had not missed one since the third year.
Yeah, right. It's a long time.
July was my nephew's first birthday, and then August was a week before I was supposed to go back to school. When I was like, I'm gonna go be in that big crowd and then infect my whole school. And then
no one was infected.
I know, but that was the mentality. So and then at that point, October, I don't always go to Oktoberfest because it's cold.
It was cold. It wasn't bad, but it was good.
But
Oktoberfest has changed because now it's one of the nights is a kids party, which is the best thing we've ever done. It's like a kids costume party, and we have it on the stage, and it's really awesome. So if you're going to come to one this summer, this coming summer, you should definitely come to the new Oktoberfest.
And for those of you that aren't familiar, you can get a Rock for Life concert. Let me messing up website.
You're messing up your own website.
Yeah, rockforlifeconcert.com, and all the information for that charity series of concerts can be found there. As long as Matt remembers to tag me, because that's our system.
Yeah, right.
But
sometimes I forget.
And And I eventually do see it and then send you a message
Right.
saying, hey, I posted this. But, all right. Well, I will let you go. Thanks again for coming on. And
All right, buddy.
good luck tomorrow, which is really a ways away.
Thursday.
But tomorrow.
Yeah, right. I know. Tomorrow. Wink, wink. Thanks a lot, Bill.
Thank you. Hey, it's Bill again. That is what we have for tonight. Make sure you join us tomorrow through the live stream. Go to www.sos2020pgh.org. Purchase your tickets tonight. If you get the single show, it's $3 with a nominal ticket fee. But if you purchase the full season for $10 with that nominal fee, you get a year's worth of live streaming as voice on demand. So you get to watch all 4 of the videos. No, 4 there in front of the video. And there are a big selection of music videos from the local bands that you can also check out on that video on demand section with that ticket. So once again, it's www.sos2020pgh.org/concerts. Tomorrow's 3 bands are the Bostal Boys, A Common Crown, and Black Ridge. Make sure you check them out. And check us out next Wednesday when we feature the 3rd week's bands. I'll see you then.